Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Lionheart Club. S.level bloodline at the beginning, unlimited bonus points crossing into the fictional world of the Dragon Clan. Activate the unlimited bonus system at the beginning, all body data, unlimited improvement. Novice gift pack gains S.level bloodline. Unlimited power increase, transform into a punch superhero, no matter what enemy, burst with just one punch. Infinite speed increase, comparable to Flash, making time go against the current. Unlimited defense points, Shield Mother calls out to accompany, absolute defense understanding. Dragon King Yemengkade. What? Can science and alchemy break through racial and reproductive segregation? Do you want me to have a football team? Little Monster Hua Liyi. The promised life, with a difference of 1 month, 1 day, and 1 hour, is not a lifetime. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Infinite Point Edition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sleep period has ended, the unlimited bonus system has awakened, and the attribute bonus ability is fully activated. Current binding host. Qingge. World scan completed, confirmed as Dragon Clan Aerial Fantasy World. Novice gift package is being sent, please check. I've finally waited for this day, hoping for the stars and the moon. Having just finished the alchemy weapon development work in the equipment department, Qingge, who was lying in the fat house of the dormitory with headphones listening to music, heard the mechanical sound in his mind and stood up quickly. Looking at the floating blue light curtain, Qingge was so excited that she almost covered her face and cried. By chance, I traveled to the fantasy world of the Dragon Clan. However, he does not have noble dragon lineage, he is just an ordinary human. The only good news is that Qingge's initial identity is relatively normal and he works in the equipment department of Castle College. The main task of the equipment department is to translate the principles of science and alchemy into practical applications, provide the college with convenient alchemical weapons for dragon slaying, and develop various advanced equipment. The equipment department is full of men with a very peculiar style of behavior, and they like to set up explosion functions no matter what new weapons they create. Therefore, it is referred to as the Bomb Madman concentration camp by Principal Henri, and Qingge's position in this department is almost equivalent to that of a deputy minister. The current timeline is still more than half a year away from the enrollment of the protagonist Lu Feiming, and all the plot of the Dragon Clan aerial world has not yet unfolded. During these days of traveling, Qingge constantly reminisces about the details of novels she has read in her past life, and hopes that the essential golden finger for travelers will arrive soon. Now that he has been working as a scientific researcher in the equipment department for nearly 2 years, even when Qingge was a bit discouraged, he didn't expect another village to shine brightly. After finally calming down, Qingge reached out and poked the newbie gift package on the sparkling blue screen, then checked the specific functions of the unlimited bonus system. Congratulations to the host for achieving a life-level elevation. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the normal S.level Dragon Clan lineage. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained an initial skill point of 10. Congratulations to the host for obtaining any basic attribute points. 1000, sending newbie rewards. A pile of information suddenly surged into Qingge's mind, all about the introduction of system functions. At the moment of receiving the newbie reward, a thick black light descended and enveloped Qingge. Host. Qingge, initial bloodline rating. None. Current bloodline rating. S level. Defense score. 10,000, plus, speed score. 10,000, plus, strength score. 10,000, plus, spirit speaking skill. Currently unavailable. Comprehensive score for fighting skills. No inflow. Skills. Music level 7, plus, magic mechanical design level 6, plus, alchemy chemistry level 6, plus, Tai Chi level 1, plus, swordsmanship specialization level 1, plus, close combat level 1, plus, cooking skills level 6, plus, dot. Available skill points. 10, basic attribute points available. 1000, system backpack storage items. None. The process of evolving from an ordinary person to an S-level dragon lineage was not long and only took a short 10 seconds. When the thick black light dissipated, Qingge immediately adjusted his attribute panel. The panel of the normal S-level hybrid species has an average defense, strength, and speed. At Castle College, A-level mixed-race students can be considered talented, with the vast majority being B-level, C-level, or even lower bloodline students. These low-level mixed-race characters are either cannon fodder characters or work in logistics after graduation, with little chance of appearing on the front battlefield. Looking at the extremely rudimentary attribute panel and the mediocre comprehensive combat rating, Qingge felt a bit speechless. I don't even have a basic speaking ability. As an S-level hybrid, I have a lot of water. Fortunately, according to the system, as long as you keep adding attribute points and collecting skill points, you can break through the shackles of bloodline. The Imperial-level dragon lineage, even the Monarch-level dragon lineage, is not a dream. The ways to obtain attribute points and skill points are diverse and flexible, including but not limited to combat, killing, watching battles, random drops, spiritual and flesh blending, completing random tasks, and so on. Anyway, with the support of the dog system, the days of fear and anxiety in the future are gone forever. Qingge clenched his fists. Although he was an S-level smuggler, he had already gained a certain level of self-protection ability in this perilous world of the Dragon Clan. Go to the Neon branch of the Snake Chi 8 family to kidnap the little monster Arie, and take the legitimate Princess Lori under her command to avoid the tragedy of Jiu De Ya Ji's death in the Three Gorges Reservoir from happening again. Transfer to become the Dragon Knight of Day teacher. Nowadays, Qingge's mind is no longer as focused on low-key stability as before. People are like this, with strength, they will have ambition to compete for dominance. If he didn't have any real skills, it would be fine. Now that Qingge has golden fingers around him, he can't be willing to be ordinary anymore. How to add attribute points more cost-effective. Continue to maintain a balance of the three attributes. Looking at the skill points and attribute points gifted by the novice backpack, Qingge fell into contemplation. Soon, Qingge made a decision. I saw him extend a finger and frantically click on the defense score column on the attribute panel. It has to be said that the fingers of the S-level mixed race are much more flexible than those of ordinary people, and the click speed is even so fast that there are shadows. Having thousands of basic attributes, Qingge has added them to defense. After completing the bonus, Qingge's tiger body suddenly shook, and his life level once again experienced a wave of sublimation. With his current strong physique, even without deliberate protection, he can withstand the direct bombardment of small-caliber firearms, at most breaking through his skin without truly damaging his bones and internal organs. As for strength and speed, stabilizing development is key. When will the defense force break through the 100,000 mark, and then consider these two basic attributes? Defensive ability is related to one's life and fortune, and can strengthen both mental and physical defenses at the same time. Qingge said that as long as I stack my armor thick enough, the most powerful Tsar bomb in human history must kneel down and sing to conquer. As for the addition of skill points, it is even simpler. Qingge has added all skill points to melee combat and swordsmanship specialization. The war between the dragon race and the mixed race emphasizes the use of swords, blood, fists, and flesh. The battle between high-level dragons is even more so, as it is difficult to determine life or death solely based on words and spirits. As the saying goes, the blood of any king shall end with a sword. Therefore, adding points to close combat and specialized swordsmanship skills is definitely the most cost-effective option. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Jiu De Ya Ji. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Qingge, I'm here to retrieve the alchemy equipment we agreed on last time. The next evening, Qingge was conducting a new alchemy weapon experiment in the equipment department when he suddenly received a video call. After clicking the green confirmation button, a girl with a gentle and sweet smile appeared on the screen, like a neighboring sister. Jiu De Ya Ji. Belonging to the executive department of Castle College, serving as an assistant executive officer. Under the command of Little Devil Road ***, one of the 3 nannies in the group, is the twin sister of the long-legged girl Zhou De Ya Ji. In the original work, Jiu De Ya Ji and Sheng teamed up to execute the Qingge plan. The bone vase of the Bronze and Fire King Constantine was the result of their desperate efforts. However, in fact, Sheng and Jiu De Ya Ji died unjustly. They were just discarded pieces on the chessboard. Is the training on that secret plan still ongoing? The executive department specialist is really working hard. Everyone else is enjoying a pleasant weekend vacation, but you don't have time to rest. Wait in the old place for a moment, I'll go out now. Qingge responded and then crossed the sea of people to the basement, carrying out a black confidentiality box embedded with the semi-decaying World Tree School emblem. Not long after, Qingge left and arrived at the agreed meeting place between the two. There is a quiet grove behind the mountains of Castle College, which is rarely visited by people on weekdays. Qingge, the feeling you gave me today seems a bit different. Jiu De Ya Ji had been waiting for a long time, wearing a dark green school uniform and slender white stockings. The gentle evening breeze blew through her hair, adding a friendly feeling like a neighboring sister. The two of them exchanged a few pleasantries when they met. Jiu De Ya Ji reached out to take the confidential box handed over by Qingge and suddenly said something like this. Qingge suddenly felt a chill in her heart. What does this mean? Qingge pretended to be confused with a clear understanding. I have indeed undergone significant changes, and my life level has completely deviated from the realm of ordinary people. But he showed no signs of revealing his bloodline and wanted to stabilize his development for a period of time before coming out. Outsiders should not have noticed any abnormalities in him. I used to think you had some hidden worries, but now I feel that your mindset has become much easier. Jiu De Ya Ji didn't notice the change in Qingge's expression. When Qingge asked, he explained carefully. Something happened to me, and I used to be trembling at this little dragon academy. Qingge smiled. He was indeed worried that Castle Academy would one day be stabbed in the back by the Gattuso family and hit by the space-based kinetic energy weapon, the Sword of Damocles. As one of the few ordinary people at Castle College, his mood naturally became very heavy. But now it's different. With the support of the dog system, even if he leaves the shelter of Castle Academy, he can go wherever he wants in such a big world. Of course, Qingge truly admires Jiu De Ya Ji's keen insight. This girl deserves to be an elite specialist in the execution department, not just a cheap commodity. She does have some real skills to become an assistant executive officer of the Qingge plan. Qingge, there's something I want to ask you to do. I want to hear you sing that song again, which is the promise under the Sakura tree. Is that okay? Jiu De Ya Ji didn't dwell too much on this issue, and it wasn't even time for Qingge to calm down and be happy. After all, everyone has secrets in their hearts that they don't want the outside world to know. Instead of getting bored by delving into them, it's better to be sensible and not delve deeper. Anyway, seeing that Qingge, who had been dealing with him for so long, had finally calmed down his mind, Jiu De Ya Ji was still very happy in his heart. It seems that you won't be returning to school in the short term due to the task, and I may not be able to fulfill your other wishes. But if you want to order a song, this is my area of expertise. Qingge did not refuse Jiu De Ya Ji's heartless request. He heard the implied meaning that the other party wanted to focus on training and preparing for the Qingge plan. During her time at Castle College, Qingge was not without achievements. Adhering to the fine tradition of promoting the classic copywriting of the time traveler, Qingge has covered many popular domestic and foreign songs, pure music, and piano music, making it easy for Qingge to earn dozens of small goals. The advantage of the traveler's foresight lies here, and not making any small moves is truly disrespectful to his identity. In fact, due to his personal, original, songs becoming popular on the internet several times, Qingge has made many headlines on the front page of the Night Watch forum and is known as the hidden tycoon of the equipment department. Even those senior students who have graduated for many years have returned to the Night Watch forum, just to see Qingge's precious personal singing MV video. Do you want to go to my dormitory and listen to a pure version of Sakura Tears? Qingge invited Jiu De Ya Ji, and his room is definitely the most unique in the entire Castle Academy. It is not a template student dormitory, but a music art studio built separately for Qingge, imitating the architectural style of the music capital Vienna. Castle College is a very peculiar territory, where lunatics gather, and the vast majority of students prioritize honor over life. It is a group with developed artistic cells. Qingge's original music style is extremely diverse, and people have explored the lyrics and music of missing their hometown in a foreign country. The melody with a strong sense of loneliness has resonated with countless people, and there are also many grand and epic works. Each creative style has a large number of fans, and there is always an XP that suits you. Being invited as a guest by Qingge Jr. is no less an honor than being invited by Principal Anger to have afternoon tea. A surprised expression flashed on Jiu De Ya Ji's face. If invited to have afternoon tea by Hilbert Jean Anger, it would be a memorable moment for all students, and some may even be willing to postpone a date between couples. It is a great honor to be invited by Qingge to receive such an evaluation from Jiu De Ya Ji. If she remembers correctly, the previous recipient of this honor was the current Lionheart president of Castle College. Zihang. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Sakura. Ears. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Castle Academy has several popular figures who consistently dominate the front page of the Night Watch forum. The president of this college, the strongest existing holder of the Godspeed speech spirit, and the leader representative of the European Dragon Slayer Party, Hilbert Jean Anger, is undoubtedly an evergreen tree. Student President Caesar Gattuso and Lionheart President Chu Zihang belong to the emerging youth forces. Although Jiu De Ya Ji was sent on missions around the world for many years and didn't have many days to live, he was still very impressed by the popular figures who often appeared on the Night Watch forum. Last time I invited Chu Zihang as a guest, he casually gave me some sake as a souvenir gift. It seems to be called He Maohe de Yin, which may suit your taste. Qingge smiled, and Chu Zihang was one of the few who allowed him to actively release his kindness. Senior brother Kill Embryo has always been known for his loyalty and never gives up at critical moments. Chu Zihang is a super strong mixed race with a super A-level dragon lineage, under the guidance of Professor Schneider, the renowned executive minister for his iron-blooded skills. After only about a year of joining the college, Chu Zihang quickly rose to prominence with a meteor-like attitude, completing several A-level practical missions alone. It is estimated that he will soon be promoted to the ace specialist of the execution department. Ranking of executive department commissioners. Preparatory commissioners, formal commissioners, senior commissioners, elite commissioners, ace commissioners. Although he enrolled a year later than Caesar Gattuso, there was a faint premonition of coming from behind, and the two often clashed. At this September's Freedom Day student event, Chu Zihang and Caesar Gattuso, two newcomers, are likely to represent their respective clubs in a head-on battle to compete for the first club position at Castle College. Although Odin, the king of sky and wind, is a mortal enemy and poses a high level of danger, Chu Zihang has evolutionary potential that is no less than that of the 4 great monarchs of the Dragon Clan. Perhaps one day he will have to hug this golden thigh to survive. At that time, Qingge's golden finger had not yet arrived at the account, so it was always right to prepare a way out for himself in advance. I can't wait anymore, go to your house now. Upon hearing Qingge's words, Jiu De Ya Ji's eyes were filled with anticipation. She had not tasted any wine produced in her hometown for a long time. The He Maohe brand of sake is very famous, with a history of over 400 years in Neon. It is produced by an old brewery called Takagi Sake Manufacturing, and belongs to a well-known state. Among them, the sake series is particularly popular, and the price difference of each era's sake is very large. The circulating price on the market is usually several zeros higher than other brands of sake. Before that, I would like to greet Minister Akadura and announce that today's alchemy experiment will end early, said Qingge. Abdullah is the Minister of Equipment, whose full name is the stinky, long, and difficult to remember Abdullah Ahmed Muhammad Farouk. He comes from the Arab ethnic group and is the only immediate superior of Qingge. If you skip work for no reason, you always have to say hello to your immediate supervisor. A few minutes later, Qingge hung up the call and nodded, indicating that Jiu De Ya Ji could leave. The small forest behind Castle Academy was only a dozen minutes' walk from Qingge's personal residence, so the two of them quickly arrived at their destination. Is this your home? When he arrived at Qingge's luxurious residence, Jiu De Ya Ji was deeply impressed by the luxurious level of this private villa and stood at the door for a long time without taking any further action. The luxury level of this building can no longer be called a villa, and only adjectives like a palace can match it. The benefactor behind Castle Academy is the European Secret Party, built on the mountain and by the water, with an extremely secretive geographical location. Dozens of architects have participated in this project, making it a land of every inch of gold in any country. But Qingge's private residence has such a vast land area, with a small but exquisite and rigorous building scale. I don't know how many beautiful knives need to be thrown inside, just thinking about it makes people feel like their hearts are dripping with blood. Based on a comprehensive estimate, it is possible that even Anger's principal's office cannot match the cost of this villa in front of him. Come in straight in, don't change your slippers, and don't rush to leave. Anyway, my house is quite big. If you get tired of playing, you can go to bed, no problem. Qingge patted her shoulder and joked. Jiu De Ya Ji was speechless for a moment. This boastful and cheerful tone was almost undisguised, even making jokes pop out, and I didn't know what exactly happened to Qingge. In my memory, Qingge rarely showed such a relaxed posture. Take it as if you're at your own home, don't pay attention to the etiquette of guests. Qingge showed a friendly smile and casually took out a pot of He Maohe Dayan brewing packaged in brown and blue from the refrigerator. There are roughly 2 ways to drink sake, which are cold drinks and warm drinks. Generally speaking, if it belongs to wines with strong taste and high aroma, such as pure rice wine, locally brewed wine, ordinary wine, etc., it is suitable to drink warm. Because these wines, after being heated, can actually bring out the aroma of the wine, making the wine more rich and mellow. And the fine aroma and taste of the sake, such as the Xiangyang and the Xiangyang, are more suitable for drinking after being chilled. This is mainly because when the sake is warm, the aroma in the wine will dissipate due to the increase in temperature. If it is a light and delicate type of wine, its taste and flavor are easily lost, so it is more suitable for drinking on ice or at room temperature. Qingge pulled out the cork stopper from the bottle and shook it casually, allowing the wine to flow out gently. Finally, he added 2 ice cubes to the glass. Cool and refreshing, with excellent flavor. Jiu De Ya Ji took the glass, pressed the rim of the glass against his lower lip and placed it on his lips. While naturally tilting his head back, he sucked in the liquid into his mouth. She held the clear liquor in her mouth and gently stirred it with her tongue, then controlled the sake in the front of her mouth and slowly swallowed it, unable to help but exclaim in admiration. Qingge raised his glass and drank it all in one gulp. The two of them chatted aimlessly, and for a moment, both the guests and the guests were enjoying each other. Under the warm yellow light, Jiu De Ya Ji's face turned red, and this picture was very beautiful and warm. "Norma, I want to order a song," Qingge shouted. Norma possesses the highly advanced artificial intelligence system of Castle College, which is a supercomputer with a personality that serves all teachers and students. The higher the authority, the more outrageous the treatment received. Qingge's authority in Norma's place is not high, and he barely has the privilege of being a B.level mixed-race researcher. The small matter of ordering songs can naturally receive a response. Qingge snapped his fingers, and the melodious and pleasant music sounded, which was the exclusive version of Sakura Tears. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Yisheng explodes hair. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The melodious pure music plays, the melody turns mournful for a long time, with lingering melancholy and strong emotional rhythm before parting. The overall music style leans toward sadness, and the lyrical and gentle music ripples in my ears, as if to take me to a beautiful world where cherry blossoms fall. The girl with skin that surpasses snow was immersed in the pink cherry blossom sea, her eyes empty and lifeless, as if she had been waiting for something, waiting for the appearance of that person. Maybe it's a lover, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone she sees as more important than life. The green hair has turned white, leaving behind that concern. Whether it's deep affection or shallow fate, it's often in an instant. Wandering between love and non-love, lingering and struggling. At that time, you and I often met under the cherry blossoms. Qingge hummed softly, his voice full of texture, like a camphor tree leaf in the morning with a hint of dew, crisp and graceful. This pure music was very popular in the past life, and someone even performed a Chinese cover with lyrics. The song is called Promise Under the Sakura Tree. Jiu De Ya Ji listened silently without saying a word, drinking in silence, his eyes slightly lowered, and for a moment he felt a bit moist. At the end of the song, the two of them pushed their glasses and changed them several times, and the night gradually darkened. It sounds so beautiful, like being in an ocean of music. This place has truly been transformed into a pure land by you. Listening to a song here is much more effective than doing a psychological counseling session with a teacher at Yasitoyama. Jiu De Ya Ji exclaimed, "It is hard to imagine that there is such a comfortable environment in Castle College, completely abandoning external disturbances and enjoying the peaceful and warm time of time. Too much praise." Qingge responded in a flat tone, as his attention had already been diverted by something. In front of him, a property interface appeared that only he could see. Found powerful mixed race drop attribute points around, do you want to pick them up immediately? Qingge couldn't help but be moved, realizing that this was one of the main channels for obtaining attribute points. Today he spent most of his time in the equipment department, encountering researchers with thin dragon bloodline who were not much stronger than ordinary people, so he never triggered any system prompts. Jiu De Ya Ji is completely different from those weak chickens in the equipment department. She is a weak woman with dual A strength and speed, an elite specialist in the execution department, and has a strong A.level dragon race bloodline, so the probability of dropping attribute points is very high. Pick up. Upon realizing this, Qingge felt a little excited and immediately responded in her heart. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the power attribute +7, congratulations to the host, obtained defense attribute +9, congratulations to the host, you have obtained agility attribute +10. 3 mechanical prompts sounded consecutively, and several warm currents flowed over Qingge's body, making her eyes sparkle uncontrollably. His mind twitched and he called out, "System, check the personal attribute panel of Jiu De Ya Ji." Shua, a sea blue light curtain, as deep as the sky, floated before me like a dream. Above the light screen, there is the information that Qingge needs. Jiu De Ya Ji, bloodline rating. A level. Defense score. 2103, normal, speed score. 3569, normal, strength score. 3160, normal, skills. Magic Mechanical Design Level 4, Alchemy Chemistry Level 3, Tai Chi Level 3, Swordsmanship Specialization Level 3, Close Combat Level 5. Killing will definitely obtain skill points, 30, and any basic attributes, 5000. The first defeat will definitely earn skill points, 3, and any basic attribute, 500. You can defeat the target multiple times. The first fusion of spirit and flesh will definitely obtain the target's ability to speak spiritually, with skill points, 10, and any basic attributes, 2500. I have a general understanding of the specific role of the system dog. Defeating and killing targets, as well as the first fusion of spirit and flesh, all require obtaining attribute points or skill points. The enemy has the strongest combat power, and the more benefits they gain from defeating/killing/blending spirit and flesh. The rewards given for killing are very generous, but they can only be obtained once. There are not many randomly dropped attributes, but they are more inclined toward sustainable development and can be used for long-term wool harvesting. It's getting late. Let's rest early. I'll give you a ride. If you don't go back, Sheng might explode. Looking at the slightly tipsy Jiu De Ya Ji, Qingge spoke out to remind him. Sheng, who can be considered a classmate of Jiu De Ya Ji, had a rather ambiguous relationship with Qingge before he traveled to Castle College. However, due to the Abraham blood contract, the two had never acted out of bounds. The rules of Castle College are actually quite damn, on the surface they support freedom in love. In fact, for students with pure dragon bloodline, they have to go through a big review process before getting married. Only by passing the review process of both the college's senior management and the artificial intelligence brain Norma can they hold their wedding openly and honestly. This is done, as the name suggests, to avoid the death attendance of the baby in the woman's womb. Okay, I hope I can come and play with you again next time. Jiu De Ya Ji didn't have the audacity to continue lingering. At this moment, her sweet and cheerful face blushed, carrying an equipment box and preparing to get up. The two of them went out, and Qingge took out the car key and pressed it. Maserati CEO, who was parked in the garage, responded with a loud roar. Jiu De Ya Ji was not too reserved, sitting in the passenger seat with a broad demeanor. Sheng really doesn't trust me. After a while, he played more than 10 missed videos. Qingge took out his phone and shook it in front of Jiu De Ya Ji. Upon seeing this scene, Jiu De Ya Ji boldly spat out a playful tongue at Qingge and casually picked up his phone to call back Sheng. Yaji, where are you now? It's already this time, I'm just looking for some equipment from the equipment department. It shouldn't take so long, right? Almost instantly, Sheng's melancholic and anxious expression left Qingge speechless while driving. The corner hasn't started digging yet, as for being so vigilant. I stayed at Qingge's music studio for a while, and on my way back to the dormitory, don't worry about me. As for Sheng's concern, Jiu De Ya Ji was not only moved but also somewhat helpless. When Qingge didn't appear, he had never felt this kind of emotion before, but now he is somewhat resistant to Sheng's concern. This situation is not the first time it has happened. In the past, when Qingge was asked to fetch alchemy props, the two would casually sit in the Starbucks hall drinking drinks and chatting. At this time, Sheng would cross over and interfere, making her not enjoy playing every time. Sheng, this is not the first time. Every time Yaji is alone with me, you always feel nervous. Qingge leaned over and greeted Sheng. Coincidentally, just as Qingge leaned his face towards him, Jiu De Ya Ji suddenly turned his head for some reason, and their mouths briefly touched each other for a moment. The smile on Qingge's face suddenly froze. Jiu De Ya Ji turned his head as if he had been electrocuted, his small face turning even more red and sweet, making it irresistible to want a kiss. And Sheng, who saw this scene through the video, was completely blown up. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. A Cut of Plum Blossom. Lu Qingge. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lu Qingge, you bastard, I'm going to kill you. Sheng was furious and powerless across the screen, which actually made Jiu De Ya Ji even more shy. Her first kiss was so revealed. Jiu De Ya Ji is not a romantic brain, but at this moment, he only feels his heart pounding wildly like thunder. The feeling between two people has always been subtle, surpassing the liking of ordinary friends, but not reaching the stage of lovers. Sheng, have you ever kissed Jiu De Ya Ji? Shouldn't you? Jiu De Ya Ji's first kiss was not with you Sheng, but with me, Lu Qingge. Lu Qingge couldn't resist roast, and secretly showed a negative face. Of course, he wouldn't speak such sarcastic lines openly, it's too hateful. To be honest, Lu Qingge didn't expect such a commotion. He did have the intention to dig Sheng's feet, but his willingness was not strong. Cough, it was all an accident just now. I'll be in your dormitory soon. Remember to rest early. Lu Qingge let out a light cough, breaking the awkward atmosphere just now. As for the video call on Sheng's side, in the moment he was powerless and roaring wildly, it was already hung up by the shy Jiu De Ya Ji on the spot. Jiu De Ya Ji's face turned red like a burning cloud, and he responded with a sticky tone as he dripped his head. If a physiologist were to check her condition at this time, she would find that Jiu De Ya Ji's heartbeat was very fast, and the adrenaline and hormone secretion system became chaotic. The teenage sentiment is always poetry, and there is not much difference between Jiu De Ya Ji and the naive college students who have just graduated from the ivory tower. Now she needs to be alone and quiet, because her entire brain is about to drain. After seeing off Jiu De Ya Ji, Lu Qingge drove the Maserati CEO alone and slowly returned to the original path. The night gradually darkened, and the milky white moonlight projected down. The cold moonlight reflected on Lu Qingge's resolute face. He drove with one hand in a lazy manner, and the other hand covered half of his eyeshadow. His mouth curved, and he chuckled. Sheng has a good eye. Jiu De Ya Ji's lips are very smooth. In the Pacific Ocean, Castle College established a secret training base for the implementation of the Qingmen plan. The command ship named Manaya was like a sleeping steel giant, quietly stopping at the coast. Mans Rundstedt, the mentor of Chen Modong, is one of the main commanders of this project. This training session has been secretly prepared for several weeks, and Professor Mans was tasked with leading a team to explore the palace that is suspected to be the King of Bronze and Fire. The King of Bronze and Fire, the esteemed first seed, was created by the hands of the Black Dragon King Nidhogg and holds the ultimate alchemy and the ultimate fire-speaking spirit, the Candle Dragon. Jiu De Ya Ji and Sheng were two executives summoned by Professor Mans from the executive department. They will form a team and are the main underwater operators of the Qingmen plan. Speak up, shout me out alone. What's going on? On the deck of the Manaya, the slightly salty morning sea breeze blew in the air, and the smooth black straight hair fluttered. She turned her head to look at Sheng, who had a serious and solemn expression, and spoke with some confusion. Due to the tight schedule and heavy training, Jiu De Ya Ji did not spend a long time repairing in the dormitory of Castle Academy. The next day, she caught an early flight and hurriedly arrived at this secret training base surrounded by the sea. Did you rest well yesterday? Sheng's spirit seemed somewhat sluggish, with a haggard appearance of not sleeping well for several days. Of course, he couldn't sleep soundly. Some jerk surnamed Lu took advantage of Jiu De Ya Ji. Although it was actually more like an unexpected situation, in Sheng's eyes, it was definitely intentional by Lu Qingge. Is everything okay? A shy memory was mentioned, and Jiu De Ya Ji's tone was reserved. with a hint of confusion and panic flashing in his eyes. Seeing Jiu De Ya Ji so twisted, Sheng's back teeth were almost bitten apart. Forcefully suppressing his uneasy emotions, Sheng took a step forward and reached out his left hand to lay it on the back of Jiu De Ya Ji's hand. "Yaji, what I really want to say to you is..." Behind him lies a carefully prepared bouquet of roses, hoping to use this opportunity to pierce through the last layer of window paper and reveal his inner admiration. Over the years, he has not had the courage to take this step, partly because the college system is too strict, and the senior leaders of the college have been doing a lot of beating and striking. If the safety of bloodline offspring cannot be guaranteed, the marriage of high order mixed race will never be recognized by the iron-blooded and cruel secret party. Individual power is far from being able to compete with the secret party, blindly fighting with passion without compromise, and the ultimate result may be being imprisoned for life on an isolated overseas island. On the other hand, Sheng was not yet ready, as he vaguely sensed that Jiu De Ya Ji had a liking for him. But no one can say for sure about emotions. Most of the time, mutual love only exists in storybooks and novels, which may be due to the three major misconceptions in life. You think the person you like also likes you. The appearance of Lu Qingge made Sheng feel a sense of urgency, as their relationship heated up too quickly. Sheng felt that if he didn't confess his feelings at this moment, he might really lose Jiu De Ya Ji forever. However, his plan did not proceed as scheduled, and Sheng failed to grasp those warm and soft palms. On the contrary, the coldness of the steel guardrail made him realize the cruel reality. "I just wanted to hold your hand, you just resisted like this." "Lu Qingge touched your mouth." Sheng was shocked for a moment, and his tense emotions suddenly collapsed. His body trembled and he let out a question that was almost like crying, with a tone full of disbelief and anger. Jiu De Ya Ji pursed his lips, wanting to explain something, but for a moment he didn't know how to guide his former classmates. No, this is not true." Seeing Jiu De Ya Ji getting entangled as a result, Shengming realized that he had lost his love in pain. He looked up and let out a death roar of an isolated lion surrounded by wolves. Snowflakes fluttering, the north wind is howling, the world is a vast expanse. Coincidentally, Mans Rundstedt was passing by near the deck while he was on a morning parade, playing the original song from the landing song version of One Cut Plum on his phone. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Bronze Throne. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Professor Mans has a very serious leadership style in his daily work. However, there were still a few hours before the training officially began, so Professor Mans took a break from his busy schedule, patrolling the cabin while listening to all the original songs released by Landing Qingge in the past 2 years. "Sheng, what's wrong with you?" Seeing the scene of Sheng roaring like a madman, Manston frowned and, with a concern for his students, Professor Mans greeted him with concern. "Professor, I can't do this question. I can't do it. It's too difficult." Sheng's expression was extremely sad. He looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle, trying to hold back the tears that swirled in his eyes. Mans Rundstedt. The child's spirit seems to be a bit off. How about notifying Professor Toyama to take a red-eye flight to provide psychological counseling for Sheng? The so-called red-eye flight usually refers to a passenger flight that operates from late night to early morning and arrives at its destination from early morning to early morning the next day, with a flight time less than 8 hours of normal sleep requirements. The headquarters of Castle College is located in the outskirts of Chicago, Illinois, within the territory of Magnesia. According to the time difference between the two locations, Yasushi Toyama may still be able to catch breakfast when he arrives here. Time flies like a white horse, in the blink of an eye. The scorching sun is like fire, the tail of the hormone-revived spring slips away, and the scorching summer season arrives. In about 2 months' time, the annual college entrance examination season in China will begin, and it is unknown whether Lu Feiming, a weak guy, has submitted an application letter to the University of Chicago. During this period, Lu Qingge has not taken the initiative to cause any trouble and has focused on developing and settling down. Of course, Lu Qingge will still copy a new song and upload it regularly to earn a few small goals, occasionally dominating the front page headlines of the Night Watch forum. Several large toys have been added to the underground garage, and Lu Qingge takes a spin around Castle Academy when she has nothing to do. If I remember correctly, the protagonist Lu Feiming will apply to study at the University of Chicago this year, and his English grades will pass. He had bad luck taking the TOEFL exam with his fellow English enthusiasts, and his score was very good. The University of Chicago and Castle College are affiliated universities that jointly host intercollegiate competitions such as equestrian, rowing, hot air balloon, and swimming on Lake Michigan every year. Under Anger's operation, the application letter handed over by Lu Feiming to the University of Chicago will be handed over to Castle College, and the mysterious Castle Gate will open to Lu Feiming from then on. Lu Qingge is still looking forward to the appearance of Lu Feiming. Having an unlimited bonus system, one has a certain probability of picking up attribute and skill points in battles, kills, battles, and spiritual and flesh blending. Lu Qingge is not a beast dominated by the will to kill. He is not very willing to let him slaughter mixed-race people on a large scale and become a public enemy of the secret party and mixed-race forces around the world. Although S.level hybrid species are powerful and do not rely on hot weapons for empty-handed combat, they can easily crush more than 90% of hybrid species with their physical strength alone, but this is not enough to become a capital for inflation and arrogance. As for the unclear positioning of the road, in Lu Qingge's eyes, a weak person is only worthy of being a tool. The 4 great monarchs of the Dragon Clan revived one by one, allowing the brothers Lu Feiming and Lu *** to attract hatred. In the end, both were defeated, and he went to snatch the head or gain favor. Although it may not be very kind, everything has to be sidelined in front of the eternal soul and the supreme power. What's the point of pulling the wool of the protagonist? System, View Personal Properties panel. Lu Qingge softly called out from the bottom of his heart, and this period of hibernation has benefited him greatly. Castle College is definitely the most suitable place for stable development at present. Castle Academy is a symbol of the secret party, with education as its core, dragon slaying as its purpose, and the Abraham blood contract as its contract, bringing together young elites from mixed-race forces around the world. The North American mixed-race force headed by Kwai Henkel, the Neon Snake Chi 8 clan force headed by Orange Shengzong, the Zhou mixed-race force headed by Orthodox, and the Idali mixed-race force headed by the Gattuso family. Most of the top mixed-race forces in the world will send young members of their families to Castle Academy to observe and study for a period of time. Castle College attracts nearly 1,000 fresh blood every year, with only a small portion of mixed-race species with A.level dragon lineage. But the accumulated profits over time are also extraordinary. After several months of dormancy, Lu Qingge's attribute panel has experienced a surge. Host: Lu Qingge, initial bloodline rating: none. Current bloodline rating: S level. Defense score: 49579. Plus, speed score 18921, plus, strength score 24565, plus, spirit speaking skills. Xiao Puno's level 4, plus, discipline level 5, plus, bronze throne level 10, plus, dot. Comprehensive score for fighting skills. Advanced skills. Music level 8, plus, Magic Mechanical Design level 7, plus, Alchemy Chemistry level 7, plus, Tai Chi level 8, plus, Swordsmanship Specialization level 9, plus, Close Combat level 9, plus, Cooking level 7, plus, Spear Fighting level 8, plus, dot. Available skill points. 7. Can use basic attribute points. 0. system backpack storage items. Several dollars, ID cards, a small amount of food, several purified water, several transportation vehicles, Colt Python, Frege bullets, and so on. Such a luxurious attribute panel far surpasses the top leader of the Arctic ecological chain, the polar bear. The premise of empty-handed combat is that you can probably punch Caesar out of feces with just one punch, and then punch Caesar into feces with another punch. Qingge rubbed his chin and estimated his combat effectiveness, which should not be inferior or even have a great chance of winning compared to the normal imperial mixed race. The two brothers, Sheng and Nu, who do not use evolutionary drugs, have attack power comparable to siege hammers. With a pair of iron fists, they can easily crush specially made thickened mixed metal anti-theft doors. If it weren't for Caesar's failure to speak of martial arts and engage in surprise attacks, he would have come up with a phaga anesthesia bullet for Yuan-ji. Even if Caesar and Chu Zihang, who had activated the bloodthirst, joined forces, they would not have been able to escape from Genji heavy industry. There is no similar problem with Qingge here. His armor is too thick, and his defense is unparalleled, more than twice the strength attribute score. Even the phaga anesthesia bullets specially developed by the equipment department for mixed-race physique cannot break through defense. Moreover, he also possesses a bronze throne that can fully strengthen his body. This speech spirit has been given priority by Qingge to level 10. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. 7 Kingdoms. Anger Invitation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The positioning of the Bronze Throne in Yanling belongs to the instantaneously enhanced Self-Yanling class, with a serial number of 87 in the Yanling periodic table, discovered and named by Harold I. This speaking skill was picked up from Fingal von Flynn's, so it can only be said to be unlucky. After releasing this spirit, Qingge will strengthen her bones, skin, and muscles to varying degrees in a very short period of time. During the duration of the Bronze Throne, Qingge's muscle explosive power and endurance will be greatly improved. Even if blocking a large caliber sniper rifle at close range, it will be completely harmless. At that time, the whole body cells will enter an excited state and their self-healing ability will be greatly improved. Qingge's physical strength will be comparable to that of pure blood dragons, easily lifting a small car weighing dozens of tons as a dumbbell. Among the faculty and students at Castle College, besides Anger, Finger is undoubtedly the strongest mixed race, the uncrowned king. If it weren't for the foresight of the plot, even Qingge would have overlooked the hidden garbage with a pig elbow in Finger's head. The Night Watch mentor Leonardo Flammel, Principal Hilbert Jean Anger, is a visible S.class and a face on the stage. Finger is the inner core of Castle College, under the tutelage of Leonardo Flammel. His expertise in dragon alchemy is unparalleled in the world. At least it is difficult to find a second among many top mixed race forces. At the same time, it also has inexplicable and complicated links with Anger, Kwai Henkel and artificial intelligence brain Norma. Alchemy and spirituality were two outstanding achievements of the dragon race in the old century. The two occupy the same highest throne and are a mysterious realm that ancient humans find difficult to touch. In alchemy, there is the saying, 7 kingdoms, which refers to the 7 outstanding achievements of alchemy. They are element replacement, spiritual recasting, conceptual armament, time reversal, space exploration, life creation, and causal separation. In the original work of Dragon 3, the new White King Herzog engages in the ultimate battle with Longhua Road ***. The weapon that the little devil temporarily pieced together with his concept-armed weapon can defeat the White King's original artifact, Tiankonjian, showcasing the power of alchemy. Unfortunately, no skills related to the 7 kingdoms of alchemy were found. However, there is nothing to worry about. The expertise of mixed-race species in the field of alchemy is ultimately not as good as that of pure-blooded dragons. What they have learned is only superficial, and there is no need to hang themselves on the crooked neck tree of finger. Lu Feiming is the biggest leak. This guy is called the ultimate in the world, probably an incarnation of Earth's will or something like that. Spiritualism, alchemy, and the two supreme thrones of the Dragon Clan, both hands must be grasped and both hands must be firm. If necessary, one can take risks and be more radical, forcefully pushing the plot forward. Lu Qingge pondered that he had safely passed the developmental stage and was no longer the S.level mixed race of a few months ago. Next, there must be more trouble to stir up the lake's surface in order to make it easier to fish in troubled waters. Yanling's commandments are currently his greatest reliance, and once the demon sealing realm is opened, all beings are equal. The level of the speech spirit is very high, with a serial number of 106 in the speech spirit cycle table. Only mentor Leonardo Flammel at Castle College possesses the precepts of speech and spirit. He used the alchemy matrix to expand the scope of influence in the field, so 99% of the students were unable to use their words. As is well known, the silent skill of spirit and discipline is comparable to the great sword of LOL Arthur, and its biggest feature is to make enemies have no distinctive features. All dragons and mixed-race species within the realm are like monks who must abide by rules and regulations and have their knives confiscated from their hands. Even targets at the Dragon King level will be partially affected, and their practical use in the dragon slaying campaign is very extensive. The last spiritual skill of Lu Qingge is called Zayupinos, which was obtained for free from the teacher of Toyama Yasi. In Greek mythological scriptures, Hippus is referred to as the god of sleep. His mother was the goddess of the night, Nyx, and they were twin brothers with the god of death, Thanatos. The two brothers lived together in the underworld. Yanling Xiu Pu Noa Si can actively guide the target into a deep sleep state, if we use small props such as pocket watches, even S-level players like Lu Feiming, who have undergone the baptism of the first generation, will be able to make a name for themselves. In the original work of Long Air, Yasi Toyama also silently hypnotized Chu Zihang. Afterwards, Chu Zihang did not even have the impression of being hypnotized, which shows the powerful and terrifying power of this spiritual speaking skill. With a firm mind, even Chu Zihang cannot escape being stolen intelligence by Toyama Yasi without his knowledge, making it even more difficult for ordinary humans and mixed-race individuals to resist. If Lu Qingge is willing to use this rhetoric to cause trouble, the vast majority of mixed-race people in the world will fall asleep. Yanling Zayupinos is different from ordinary hypnosis. Its greatest strength lies in the fact that this wordsmith forcefully deletes/modifies a portion of the target's memory. Perhaps Herzog has mastered this type of spiritual speaking spirit, which is why it can mass-produce shadow warriors. In summary, these three words and spirits have their place of use, which greatly enhances the overall strength of Lu Qingge. As long as one is good at utilizing the strengths of each individual speech and spirit, even against the next generation who awakens from slumber, they are not at all illusory. Ding Ling. The familiar communication message prompt sound started, and Lu Qingge took out his phone to flip through. The sender is Hilbert Jean Anger. The legendary dragon slayer with a lifespan approaching 140 years old is the representative and leader of the secret party on the surface. Surprisingly, I handed him an invitation letter to invite Lu Qingge to have afternoon tea. Not far from the Hall of Heroes, there is an inconspicuous two-story building. On the surface, it looks like an abandoned garage, but the interior is completely different from the withered and dilapidated outside. Above the head is a huge skylight embedded with frosted glass, and there is no ceiling cut on the first and second floors. Looking up, there were bookshelves in all directions. On top of it are a complete set of hardcover and ancient book reprints, each of which can fetch a sky-high price at auction. Lu Qingge and Henri sat opposite each other across a spacious office desk, with pure white bone china cups on the table, and the faint fragrance of Darjeeling No. 2 black tea, floating with a halo. Good tea. Dim sum are also delicious. The headmaster's daily life is really nourishing and envies us. Qingge picked up a bone china cup and took a sip of black tea, then picked up a muffin sprinkled with rose dew and chewed it slowly. He didn't have a reserved and respectful posture, and his mood was relaxed as if he were at home. Anger took off his glasses and gently wiped them. There was a prickly red rose inserted in his chest, elegant as if he were going to attend a ball as an upper-class aristocrat. Full of silver hair, wearing gentlemen's black framed glasses, and wearing a standard and exquisite black suit three-piece set. If it weren't for what I had seen with my own eyes, it would be hard to imagine that the handsome and lively old man in front of me was already over 130 years old. If it were an ordinary person, the grass on the grave would be 3 zhang tall. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Spring and Autumn Orthodoxy. Xiangyang Zhou family. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The lifespan of mixed-race humans is indeed longer than that of ordinary humans, but being over 100 years old can also be considered advanced age. Qingge is like an tireless young man, still struggling on the front line of the dragon-slaying battlefield, his chest filled with flames of revenge. Qingge quietly observed the warmth of the table, and a property panel that only she could see appeared in front of her. Hilbert Jean Anger, Bloodline Rating. S.Level, Special, Defense Score. 14603, Normal, Speed Score. 29451, Normal, Strength Score. 21045, Normal, Skill. Critical Health, 0 time, 2 days First Class, Various Languages. Killing will definitely obtain skill points, 100, and any basic attributes, 25,000. The first defeat will definitely earn skill points, 30, and any basic attributes, 5,000. You can defeat the target multiple times. Standard Assassin Template, High Attack, High Speed, Low Defense. The S.Level mixed race is indeed much more powerful than the A.Level Jiu De Ya Ji. Every S.Level person in history is not an unknown person, and it is not an exaggeration to describe them as 1 out of 10,000. Even Leonardo Flamel, who is not good at frontal toughness, will not have weaker physical attributes than A.Level hybrid species. When the vice principal was young, he was also considered a hero, with titles such as Bloodhound, Moon Catcher, and Curry Rooster. He had a standard playboy demeanor and once crossed the West alone to pursue a seriously injured pure-blood dragon. The elderly, on the other hand, eventually become a beer-belly general, hiding inside the clock tower all year round without knowing what to do, only appearing in events like the Women's Swimming Championships. If we don't use the alchemy matrix to set traps in advance, perhaps the vice principal will be instantly killed by anger. This is not an exaggeration, because the vice principal's bloodline is not as strong as Anger's, and the precepts can only interfere and cannot suppress Anger's release of words. This century-old legendary dragon slayer is not just a name for himself. Only a very small number of mixed-race races in the world are qualified to confront the fiercely blooded Angerhead. On. Due to the bug of the divine speed speech spirit times 0, a face-to-face encounter can determine the outcome, and the battle may end before the enemy can react. Is there a chance of winning in a 6 or 4 game bare-handed battle against Anger with preparation? Qingge regarded Anger as a hypothetical enemy, simulating the intense battle process in his mind. This is not difficult for him today, as there is not much difference in strength between the two, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. As long as the spirit of speech and discipline are established, the chances of winning are still considerable. The precepts of speech and spirit comprehensively restrain the speed of speech and spirit, and Henri has no chance to unleash her true strength. The Bronze Throne fully enhances its strength and defense attributes, and it is not a false statement to be on par with the Dragon King with a human body. In other words, Qingge can make many mistakes, while Henri can only make one mistake. I can see that you adapt quickly and get along well with the crazy guys in the equipment department, possessing the unique sense of loneliness of our tribe. Norma has been observing you for a long time, but she hasn't been able to detect any trace of dragon lineage from you. This is truly a pity. Henri communicates with Lu Qingge in standard Chinese, partly because the international status of flower growers has skyrocketed and will inevitably become the core driving force of the world economy and trade. On the other hand, it is because there will be several heavyweight prince-level characters reviving within the territory of the flower growers in the near future. The so-called prince refers to the first rank of royal title in the flower planting family's title system, ranking second only to the emperor in the ancient royal nobility. The birthplace of the secret party is the European mixed race, and they want to sneak their hands into the territory of the flower growers. Regardless of the reason, learning Chinese is an unavoidable topic. The mixed race organization of flower growers has been very exclusive since ancient times, and in ancient times, most of them fought independently with the power of aristocratic families. In modern times, unification has become an inevitable trend. So the aristocratic families united together due to various interests and proclaimed themselves as orthodox or legal, and crossed the river with the secret party to control the well water without offending the river. The so-called orthodoxy comes from the Confucian book Spring and Autumn. The meaning is to prioritize the Zhou dynasty, respect the laws of the 5 emperors, and unify the world. The Zhou family in Xiangyang, who is in charge of the Dunlongtai, is considered one of the strongest and oldest aristocratic families, among which the Bai family, Chen family, Lu family, Chu family, Li family, Su family, Qin family, Lu family, Wang family, Chao family, and Wei family are equally significant in size. The situation between the secret party and the orthodox side is similar, but on the surface, it appears to be an iron plate, but in reality, there is a deep entanglement of interests. The neon branch of the Snake Chi 8 families is actually a united yuppie. This is probably because only the weak need to report to the group for warmth. There's nothing to regret, at least I'm doing pretty well now, isn't there? Thanks to Principal Anger's kindness, otherwise there wouldn't be Lu Qingge today. Lu Qingge picked up a book and flipped through it, while at the same time, the initial memories came to mind. At first, upon learning that she had descended into the world of the Dragon Clan, Lu Qingge was incredulous, so she was unable to integrate into the world depicted in this book for a long time. But take it as it comes. Relying on the hype and operational tactics of Wen Chonggong, Lu Qingge quickly gained popularity on the internet and seized the first bucket of gold. Money can make ghosts grind, and the identity issue of travelers is perfectly solved. Intentionally or unintentionally, he searched for keywords related to Castle Academy on the website, which caught the attention of Norma Artificial Intelligence. Perhaps there is a natural barrier between the interloper and the world in the book, which Norma interprets as the result of the mixed race group's blood sorrow. Lu Qingge was mistakenly identified by the artificial intelligence brain Norma as a wild mixed race species of dragon bloodline that has not yet awakened. And the pre-evaluation bloodline level given is very high, which has attracted high attention from the mentor team, thinking that the college has found a treasure. Naturally, Lu Qingge was invited to Castle College for a bloodline rating, but the final result was surprising. Lu Qingge is a pure-blooded human without any trace of dragon lineage. Henri originally wanted Yasushi Toyama to wash away his memories during his school years, but Lu Qingge was very resistant to this and even arranged many backup measures in advance for this matter. At that time, Lu Qingge was at the forefront of the domestic music industry, with many heavy music enthusiasts and enthusiastic supporters who could form a strengthening teacher. Even in Orthodox, there are staunch fans of Lu Qingge who pay close attention to her itinerary records. A certain little girl with extraordinary status specifically dialed a cross-ocean phone call for this, demanding that Castle College ensure that Lu Qingge is unharmed during her time at school. If Castle Academy were to act alone, causing Lu Qingge's brain trauma to fall into a creative bottleneck, that little girl would be very unhappy. In addition, Lu Qingge is willing to sign a confidentiality agreement for the Abraham Blood Covenant. During the visit to the equipment department, he displayed an extraordinary talent for alchemy and was introduced as a confidant by Minister Akadura. The brainwashing and exile ultimately came to an end. P.S. The Zhou family in Xiangyang is a local mixed-race power of the flower growers in the Dragon Clan strange stories, and both belong to the Dragon Clan worldview. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Changing the plot. 2 days of first class. You are listening at Novel Full Audio. This year, Castle College intends to recruit a few fresh blood members from flower growers. Would you be interested in serving as a temporary interviewer within the flower growers' territory? With a hot smile, Qingge asked, but was slightly taken aback at the words. In theory, it's never his turn to handle an interview. However, Qingge quickly felt relieved, even though she was struggling to develop and didn't do anything out of line. But the butterfly effect of the traveler is inevitable. A slight change in the initial conditions may cause a series of chain reactions. At this moment, Qingge was unaware that the reason why Henri had to add a temporary member to the list of interviewers was simply because a little girl hoped that Qingge would often go home and take a look. It's not that it's not impossible. I haven't had a long vacation for myself, and I happened to take the opportunity to release a few new songs. I just don't know which group of people are going to the flower grower together this time. Qingge stood up and walked to the bookshelf, taking out a hardcover version of On the Sovereign and flipping through it. This book is the work of Niccolò Machiavelli and is listed by Western critics as one of the 10 works that have influenced human history on par with the Bible, Capital, and others. Professor Gudrian, Chen Mo Tong from the Chen family, and Jiu De Ya Ji. Anger looked at Qingge with a smile on her face, clearly indicating something when referring to the last person's name. The college seems to attach great importance to this interview. Even the professor team was shocked, at least it must be an A-level mixed race, right? Qingge ignored Henri's subtle gossip gaze and tried to shift the topic, pretending to be surprised. After decades, Castle College is finally welcoming new students with S-level dragon bloodline. Perhaps his appearance will change the existing pattern of the human dragon race. Anger sighed, without concealing her expectations for the protagonist Lu Feiming. In fact, in Anger's eyes, Lu Feiming is a weapon that can end the history of the Dragon Clan. Rather than saying that this interview is for screening new blood, it is more accurate to say that it is specifically prepared for Lu Feiming alone. Such a high evaluation is likely to cause a sensation in the whole school when it spreads, right? Caesar and Chu Zihang would also be unable to sit still, wanting to bring this newcomer into their own club. The competition between the Lionheart Association and the Student Union would become more intense, but this would be a good thing for the college. Qingge deliberately showed a surprised expression, then walked to Henri's commonly used desk and took out a feather pen dipped in some ink from the pen holder. Under a frowning and displeased gaze, Qingge picked up a pen and wrote a foreign name on the book. That name is Friedrich von Long. As a traitor to the first generation of the Lionheart Society of the Secret Party, Friedrich von Long planned the Wings of Morning event 100 years ago in the summer, which dealt a heavy blow to the golden generation of the Secret Party. The legendary dragon slayer Menek Castle also died in that battle, and the Castle family lost its most eye-catching gem and inheritance. No one can inherit its glory anymore, and since then, the Castle family has been in decline. Today's Lionheart Club is just a student club in Castle College. At that time, it was the youth league of the Secret Party, the world's best dragon slayer team, and was highly respected by the elders of the Secret Party. In summary, this interview is like going on vacation to a flower grower. Professor Gudrian will oversee the overall situation, and you and the other interviewers just need to cooperate with him and act according to the situation. After all, people cannot always be confined in the laboratory. If it weren't for your insistence, I really wouldn't want you to deal with those crazy guys from the equipment department all day. Anger picked up the crumbs of the muffin, and the furry squirrel hovered on the windowsill with its tail raised. He fed the squirrel as if there was no one around. In the classroom, he is a rigorous educator, and his lectures on dragon genealogy are often full of seats. Apart from the slightly higher difficulty of the graduation exam, it has almost no drawbacks and is the most popular course among students. When interacting privately, you will only feel that this old man is approachable. As the undisclosed leader of the secret party, Anger rarely takes action now, but his name is widely circulated in the martial arts world. Perhaps only when half of the old era stepped into the grave with one foot, did the few powerful officials know what kind of iron-fisted dragon-slaying heart Henri had in his youth. Although the crazies in the equipment department are often somewhat unreasonable, they are still quite cute in some aspects and easier to get along with. You can probably guess that I don't like to flirt and fight with people. My attitude is to go with the flow. Qingge put down his feather pen and placed the "on the sovereign" on the table. He lightly pressed his palm on the fine cover. The research institute carefully built by the equipment department is estimated to be the safest shelter in the Dragon Clan world. After watching the Apocalypse 2012 disaster film, these crazy people tirelessly studied and erected the Garden of Eden barrier, claiming that they will be the last human spark after God's destruction. The ground-penetrating missiles of the United States and the large Ivans of various countries around the world may be able to destroy the ground buildings of Castle Academy, but they cannot penetrate the defensive barriers of the Garden of Eden. Decades of meters of concrete, combined with specially developed protective layers, can even isolate and filter nuclear radiation. The equipment department can be regarded as the only pure land of Castle College, with strong autonomy. Even the board of directors and Anger do not take it seriously. If it weren't for the senior management of the college blocking the research funding of the equipment department, or for the parents of these crazy single bombers, it would be estimated that the equipment department would have gone up and exposed the tiles long ago. Found powerful mixed race drop attribute points and new skills around, do you want to pick them up immediately? Pick up. Upon hearing the familiar system prompts, Qingge felt a little relieved and her face remained calm. She immediately responded in her heart. I'm so happy, I can even pick up new skills after drinking afternoon tea, it's not too comfortable. There are many good things on Anger's body. If you can pick up Yanling ×0, you will make a profit, and your combat power will definitely experience another surge. Even the first-generation seed who is facing the tough front dares to pounce on him recklessly. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained Strength Attribute plus 21, congratulations to the host, you have obtained Defense Attribute plus 19, congratulations to the host, obtained Agility Attribute plus 35, congratulations to the host, you have obtained the skill of 2 days first class. Unfortunately, it's not ×0. It's a bit regrettable, but fortunately it's not a daily skill. Qingge felt regretful in his heart, but he didn't dwell too much on it. Anyway, there will be more opportunities to collect wool in the future. Moreover, being top-notch in 2 days can be considered as Anger's signature skill, and it is not inferior. Henri once represented the secret party to visit the Neon Kingdom during the Zhou period, wandering in the Neon underworld. He befriended the swordsmanship master Dan Shenzhen Budong Zhai and obtained the highest title, which allowed him to pass 10 trials. At that time, Yasuji Ekigo, who had no conscience to eat and wait for death, was still the last film emperor of the Neon Kingdom and the strongest imperial hybrid of the Snake Chi 8 families. When the secret party forces visited the Snake Chi 8 families, the silly Yasuji Yu was eagerly challenged by the family's gunslinger, and as a result, he was treated as a child by Henri's newly learned 2-day first-class swordsmanship Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Anger shocked. See Chu Zihang. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The second day is top-notch. Musashi Miyamoto of the Neon Kingdom has promoted this genre and has some rules and techniques, but to put it simply, he still works miracles with great force, wielding 2 swords and throwing them at the enemy. In Qingge's mind came the double-sword man who shouted, "I am invincible." According to ancient records, Musashi Miyamoto was at least 1.7 meters tall, and during that era, the average height of neon lights was less than 1.5 meters. Musashi Miyamoto was simply a giant. Henri played Yusuji with his inexperienced 2-day first-class swordsmanship. The damage may not be high, but it was extremely insulting. There are multiple reasons for Yusuji's disastrous defeat. There was a lot of brute force that couldn't be exerted, and my mentality was disrupted by anger. Even if Yusuji has the purest imperial lineage, defeat is inevitable. Of course, the main reason was that Henri's cheating opened up his voice, and Yusuji never engaged in a few life and death battles, mostly living in a comfortable environment. It can easily crush ordinary mixed-race individuals, but facing experienced dragon slayers like Henri is a bit tight. Born in distress and died in peace, that's basically the truth. If there's nothing else, I'll go back to the dormitory to pack my luggage and say goodbye to my friends. The equipment department also needs to say hello in advance to see if they have any local specialties they want to eat. After chatting for nearly 3/4 of an hour, Qingge scattered and picked up nearly 100 agility attributes from Henri, and then the system started to mute without any further prompts. According to the pattern summarized in the past, this means that anger has no oil or water to catch up with in the short term. Seems to be due to hidden built.in cooling in the picking attribute. The answer to this question is unknown as the system is not very intelligent and cannot communicate properly. Go ahead, as the 5th uncrowned king in the music industry, appearing again in China is sure to cause some fans crazy pursuit. If you feel that you can't handle the trouble, you can say hello to Norma in advance. The aristocratic power within the territory of the flower planting family is highly exclusive, and the influence of the secret party is somewhat ineffective in that area. But they are still willing to make some small arrangements for convenience. After all, the Orthodox forces also want to open up overseas trade markets and share the world's cake with the secret party. Anger smiled and waved his hand, casually uttering some valuable secrets. He is not very defensive against Qingge, and he just reveals some irrelevant information. And that little girl is a fanatical music enthusiast, and the behemoth behind her, Qingge, will come into contact sooner or later. The tea is very delicious, I just brought some back to give to those fans who support me. Qingge felt that Henri seemed to have something to say and acted properly as a riddle person, but seeing that Henri had no intention of explaining, he did not self-blame or ask uninteresting questions. As she was about to leave, Qingge carried away the remaining half of the Darjeeling No. 2 red tea jar in a dazed gaze. This thing is produced in the area of the Darjeeling Plateau at the foot of the Himalayas and is known as the champagne of black tea. There is nothing that anger can choose without burning money, so you shouldn't mind picking up some wool when you leave. Anyway, it was spent on the money of the secret party. As the face of the secret party, Henri Guang spends tens of millions of dollars each year, and the underground warehouse is filled with various limited edition luxury supercars. Even extravagantly purchasing a super remote private business plane for oneself, the wealth and strength of the secret party can be seen from this. Qingge, a wealthy man with dozens of small goals and value, can at most be considered a small shrimp in the eyes of the secret party. After all, no matter how wealthy he is, he cannot match the European syndicate industry and the Sicilian mafia. The school board members are in charge of both black and white, and they are making unscrupulous money in violation of the law. How can we compare our heads? There is a saying that goes, the most profitable business in the world is written in the criminal law, which means rough or rough. The wealth accumulated by various branches of the secret party can be considered massive, with at least 1 trillion yuan as the basic unit. So anger always spends extravagantly, with clothing, food, housing, and transportation being at the top level. I don't know what it means to save money. This kid. Watching Qingge leave with a full load, anger smiled helplessly, as if the elderly were looking at the mischievous younger generation. Over the years, everyone who has been invited to have afternoon tea has shown great respect to him. He has never been like Qingge, who eats and drinks like he does in his own garden. Unfortunately, he was still willing to be slaughtered as a fat sheep. Since his friends were buried with his own hands, Anger had not enjoyed this kind of equal treatment for many years. Perhaps this is a tacit agreement between friends, right? No wonder that esteemed little girl would abandon her own position and the estrangement from the secret party. Even if she personally stepped down, she would entrust herself to take care of this guy. In the late spring and early summer seasons, everything grows towards the sun. It's really nice. The sun shone warmly on her body, and Anger patted her hands after feeding the squirrel, preparing to tidy up the slightly dragging desk. When my gaze touched the book on the monarch. He paused slightly before flipping to the page where Qingge marked with a feather pen. Friedrich von Long. Anger's body trembled slightly, his fingers brushing over the name that looked like a demon, his pupils contracting and his expression trembling. The lazy master posture on his body disappeared in an instant, like a warrior hearing a charging horn, with an indestructible flame flashing in his eyes. Don't blame your brother for not sharing good things with you, it's because you don't have this taste. Qingge left Anger's office leisurely and planned to meet with Zihang to say goodbye, along with some dazzling tea to be distributed to Zihang. After arriving at the temporary headquarters of the Lionheart Society, and Baiguan, Zihang was not found. Last year's Freedom Day event was a motorcycle competition, and the previous Lionheart Club lost to the student union led by Caesar. The winner can obtain the 1-year right to use Norton Hall, so Lionheart will have to move out of Norton Hall in search of a new headquarters. If nothing unexpected happens, the president should be able to return to the college within half a month, and may not be able to contact him during the mission period. Zihang's assistant Lancelot claimed that the other party was not in the academy and flew to a pyramid in Egypt for a war practice class. The nature of the war practice course is similar to the annual final assessment for college students, which is related to the distribution and evaluation of scholarships, and its value is still very high. Of course, dragon recovery events are not commonly seen. Most of the time in the war practice class, students will be assigned to an action group to excavate the remains of the Dragon Clan. If there are really no suitable tasks, volunteering in Chicago to take care of the crocodile pool and studying the evolutionary history of reptiles can also earn you a good score. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.